I mean, you talked about Fernan kind of becoming more of a three-point shooter. I'm curious, just as a whole for your team and for him, with the three-point line moving back, is that something like you kind of think about or go into the way you coach at all?
No, and maybe I'll regret that at the end of the year. In talking to NBA people, they seem to think that every foot is 1%. They do a lot of analytical stuff, and that's kind of what I've been taught, that 1 foot is 1%. So if it's close to that, and you look at numbers, that's pretty small when it comes to the benefit of the three. So no, I still think it's the same. I think it'll play out to be equally as important as it ever was. Wherever you feel that is, in your philosophy, I don't think it's changed. I don't think mine will change, at least certainly not for the first month or two of the season, and then maybe at some point looking at numbers it could adjust.
When he played here, you talked about Jere Foster, above and beyond his physical talent, being smart and tough and a leader and all those intangibles. And you said the team was always better when he was on the floor, even if he wasn't at 100%. Do you have a guy on your roster now who fills that kind of role?
Well, let's talk about him first, since you brought him up. He went through about as many difficult things as any player I've ever seen, and obviously from an offensive standpoint, he was far off his game in the 11 games he played last year. Not close. His numbers were not close to what they would have been or could have been. But he was just such a good defensive player, rebounder, talker, team player, leader, that you could see when he was in there, we were completely different. We were probably 10 points better team, even though his offense wasn't close to what it was. So his loss is huge. I would say not yet do we have anyone like that. He was really he had a lot of time under his belt, and he was very bright, and he really understood winning and losing. I don't think we have yet anyone, but I hope that we have a group that is moving in that direction. And if you have everybody bought in, then you can do it without one guy maybe being the key defender or the key talker.
2 weeks into the season, or going into the season now, still no word from the NC2A about waivers. This adjust and adapt process. It's got to start becoming a little bit more of a nerve-wracking experience from the staff. What's it like?
Well, it is. It's tough. I'd be lying to say it's not. Mainly because the truth is I don't know who our team is. I don't know who our team is. I don't know. And so you're playing some guys at different positions in practice, but you don't want to have everyone overlapping positions. Then, especially new guys, they're not. It's enough to learn one position. You go to college, a new college program. There's a lot to digest, and so now we're asking guys to learn 2 or 3 positions in case. That hurts us. I mean, it really does. Not an excuse, but it is now becoming, a little nerve-wracking. And every day we just hope that we hear some news. Obviously we're hoping for great news, but news would help because at least you know a direction and you can start, at least knowing the roster that is going to be able to play.
Do you feel like these two guys have a good case? I mean, you mentioned the Tulane guys.
They have a great case.
Yeah.
I mean, without a doubt. I mean, they have. We've dug into it pretty hard, and without getting into, a long explanation, but there are categories to get a waiver. There's a few categories, and you have to fit into that. In other words, it's not just, well, how should we feel about this one? They're strict categories laid out pretty well. Both have great cases. Both have great cases. So just, that's why we're trying to stay positive, because we think they're very, very legitimate.
You talked about all the newcomers you've got, and several of them are either transfers or JUCO guys. Is the teaching process different for you and your staff, dealing with the older guys coming in instead of if they were all freshmen?
Maybe it is, and we have 2 freshmen, and I'll start there, that they're very bright, both of them. They don't come in, I should say it the other way, they come in with a good basketball base, so they don't feel like freshmen, and they're not pulling the group down at all. In fact, sometimes they really raise the group, both of them. And then the others that have come in, definitely nobody feels like a freshman, nobody. And so that helps us we didn't have to start at square one. Maybe we start at square two, and it helps you improve a lot quicker. And so that part of it's been really fun.
You mentioned that nobody is feeling like a freshman. You would want some guys to feel like seniors. Who are some of those guys right now? Obviously, you've got Isaiah and you've got Ethan. Are there any other guys?
Well, I think anyone that's got age on our team thinks they're a senior right now. I think that's kind of the way it is, but it's just the oldest guys. You know, our oldest guys are what? Ethan, Isaiah, Tyson, and you know, those are our oldest. Isaiah JC when he becomes eligible semester. So they're the oldest, but yeah, we don't have seniors, but we do have some guys, a number of guys that do have college experience. So in some ways, that's really, really exciting because not only for this year, but for the next year, you know, you have a group that if everything stays together and they keep improving, like I think, not only can we be very, very good this year, but have a chance to be outstanding next year.
You mentioned Tyson had a quick injury. I guess I don't think we got into much detail about it. Is he going to be good for the start?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, hope, knock on something. But he's back practicing today,
Okay.
and he looked good today, and so yeah, he should be. They feel like he's 100%, and good timing to get him back, get a couple weeks of practice under his belt before we play.
With Everett. Oh, one more just about Everett. I mean, you mentioned him a little bit, and I'm curious. Just when you see him out there, is there that rust? Is he like? Because I mean, he's such a big guy. Like
No, you know, he's. We've been practicing a long time now because of summer. You know, you get summer now, which helps. You only get it 4 hours a week, but it's practice, and so you can kind of slowly build some things and get rust off. And so no, I don't feel like he's rusty right now. Maybe in a game, you know, he hadn't played a game for a long time, so playing in front of people and playing in a live situation that way, hopefully not, but we'll see. But Everett's a guy that he's a great leader. He's only, you know, a sophomore in eligibility, but so mature, so cut in. He's such a great teammate. He acts like a senior, actually, a lot. I mean, if anybody's acting like a senior, he's one, certainly, that is. He just really approaches every day like you would hope all your players approach every single day.